I think it's important that we enforce traffic regulations such as speeding and our other traffic laws as peace officers in this state, as an effort to improve safety on the roads. So I think it's very important that that be our focus and not revenue collection is our focus. With that being said, we were very careful when I was there. We tracked, closely tracked the work product of the deputies on the street, because I think you have to do that. People do what you pay attention to as an administrator, and people tend to not do what you don't pay attention to. So it's very important that you at least pay attention to that and track what they're doing out there. We did. One thing, when we were tracking contacts that they made, as far as traffic went, we made no differentiation between a traffic stop and a citation issue, because we didn't want to encourage them to just start writing more tickets because it looked better on their stats. We wanted to very carefully avoid having the deputies as part of speed traps or revenue collection. We did not want that to be a factor, and I think that's an important point to note in victimless crimes. Do I feel that all drug crimes are victimless crimes? No, I do not. That was lumped into there. I don't feel that necessarily felony possession of dangerous drugs is the same as driving 8 or 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. I think that those crimes tend to have more victims, at least as far as the destruction that happens to our family systems, our family units, the increase in property crimes to support drug use and abuse, and all the other things that go along with that.
Excuse me.
Did I miss a part of that question?
No, Chuck, I just wanted to clarify. The drug use was with marijuana in parentheses, meaning, I believe, the green card
Oh, sure.
that has a legal prescription for medical marijuana.
Sure. Okay. I guess if you have a green card and can possess medical marijuana, then in this state you're not committing a criminal offense. So that being said, do I view? I think a large percentage of our current prison population is made up of drug offenses. I think that's a societal question. I think equal enforcement of all laws is something that's important. Whether or not I personally agree with each and every law does not mean that as sheriff, I won't direct my people to enforce that.
Mike, if I was part of the question reference the detention?
In regards to jail overcrowding, meaning, I'm sorry, in regards to jail overcrowding, the victimless crime, and basically what they had asked, speeding, registration of vehicles, drug use with marijuana in parentheses, and I believe the drug use was due to the green card for medical marijuana, which would be legal if somebody has that card.
As far as victimless crime, you know, I don't believe all of those are victimless crimes. And I'll say this for speeding. I can say that I've responded to many incidents where speed was involved. It was the prime factor for the accident that either injured or killed somebody. That is a victim crime. As far as the medical marijuana is concerned, I'll jump ahead a little bit there. I can tell you of calls that I have went to where you have a subject, excuse me, I don't want to make that wrong term there, a subject who had a card, was smoking marijuana legally for medicinal purposes, but also the person's children were in the same residence. And so you have secondhand smoke issues. So I can see where you have victim or the potential for victim crimes there as well. And again, that's where our current law is so vague. We need some amendments, we need some changes to that so we can enforce that, so we can look at that. You know, obviously we can't deny someone their medicine, and that's what it would boil down to. As far as the detention part of that, you know, I can't remember actually bringing anyone to jail ever because I wrote them a speeding ticket or because their vehicle registration was overdue. In fact, the vehicle registration I look simply as a tax item. I would rather have that person go and pay their taxes, their property taxes, the way I do. So I know with me, it generally is, here, go pay this, bring over a copy of your current registration to show that you paid your property taxes like everybody else. Don't got to worry about a ticket. You know, I think you're kind of double dipping there a little bit. I'd rather that they spend the money on the property taxes than paying a fine on top of it. And we're not a revenue collecting agency. That is not what our job is. That's not what our purpose is. You know, we need to make sure that folks understand that we are peace officers, we are law enforcement, we are there to protect you and the community, and we're there to enforce the laws that are currently in existence. We're not out there to take money and exert money out of your pockets. That's not our intention. That's certainly not what we do. So I want to make sure that that gets clarified. Let's see, was there another traffic offense on there?
Registration of vehicles, Lance.
You know, I can say this certainly of my shift. We make a lot of traffic stops, contacts. Of those contacts, I'm going to say probably 20%, and I'm probably being a little conservative there, result in a citation either being issued for any of those offenses. We'd rather have the people just slow down, abide by the law, educating them on what the potential dangers are for the speeding, getting the registrations up to snuff, so they're just like everyone else. I pay my fair share of taxes. I think everyone else should be in that same boat as well.
Please comment on your interpretation of community policing.
You know, that certainly was the big topic here just a few years ago. Everyone wanted to get involved in community policing, and they wanted to have neighborhood watch group programs, and they wanted everyone to be out there and be vigilant and be aware of their surroundings. And it was great concept, great theory. The problem is we're all too busy. We're all too busy in our own personal lives to see what's going on. There's a lot of single parents out there. There's a lot of families out there that are holding down 2, 3 jobs, that are simply unable to. They're doing everything they possibly can to maintain their family unit, let alone be careful and walk around the block and take license plate numbers and things of this nature. So to kind of move ahead a little bit, one of the things that I want to do and is a proponent of is, and you can call it community policing if you want, but I want to put on classes. I want to educate. I want to have officers go out and make contact with people and educate them on what they can do to help prevent crime from taking place. To me, that's community policing. That's where you're going out, you're making face-to-face contact with somebody, and you're explaining to them, you know, this is what, gosh, I see that you have a ladder up on the back side of your house. You know, that ladder can access the 2nd floor of your house. Do you lock those windows on that 2nd floor? Most people don't. You know, most people don't think about it that way. And I think if we as officers can make that personal contact, make that our community policing issue, where we're out there, we're making that one-on-one contact, we can show, one, the community that we care, that we're looking out for them, that we're doing their job, and that we are actually earning our money, that you are paying us. And I think through the educational process of putting on some classes with the expertise that we do have in law enforcement, and share, and that's not just Flathead County Sheriff's Office, that is every law enforcement agency and entity, and I'll just say of this county. We have a lot of information that we can pass on to you to make your lives safer, to make your lives more comfortable and better. And I know we would certainly do that. We'd love to do that. We enjoy doing that. And if I'm elected, that will certainly happen.
I welcome this question because I feel pretty strongly about the issues surrounding it. Community policing is actually a term that was generated from some of the larger urban departments in the United States back about 20 years ago, when they found out that law enforcement officers, especially in the big urban areas, spent a lot of time driving up and down the streets in their patrol cars. And most of the community's contact with law enforcement officers was seeing the patrol car, the marked car, go by the street, or they'd pass them on the highway. And they wouldn't get out of the cars unless they were responding to a call. As a matter of fact, in a lot of the inner city areas, they're kind of scared to get out of the cars on occasion. We argued when this concept became very popular that, hey, we're a small rural agency. We do community policing now, a lot better than the big cities do, but the concept I think is very important. And it's something that, as a community,